sweet angel. Good morning, Starshine. Welcome back to my studio. This is my home studio. We definitely have some whimsy vibes going on. I love it. I love it in here. Today, I thought we could just relax and make some spooky art. It's September, it's cold outside, it's morning time. The vibes are vibing. So without further ado, why don't you gather up some of your art supplies and we can make art together. Or if you're not making art right now, you could just get a drink and some snacks and we could just hang out anyways and relax and be cozy together. Bonus points if you're in your jammies. We have a visitor who also wants to partake in the cozy vibes. Hi, puppy. If you've been keeping up with what's going on in the world right now, then you would know that there's a lot of chaos going on and a lot of hatred and sadness, and you might be feeling stressed and drained and maybe even scared. You know, you have this fear that is just following you around because of what's happening in our country and the world. While I think it's important to be aware of what's going on around you, I know that it could really affect your mental health. And so it's important that you still take care of yourself and take time for yourself and shut things off and just be in the moment and be grateful with where you are currently. I'm grateful that I'm in my art studio and I'm safe right now. It's nice and peaceful and quiet, and I know that not everybody gets that. So I'm super grateful that I get to live this life, and I'm still very sad with what's going on and everything, but let me know what you're grateful for down in the comments. And it could just be something as simple as, oh, I had a chocolate chip muffin for breakfast this morning, or it could just be something more serious like I'm grateful that I'm financially secure, and you know, there's so many things to be grateful for. This palette has completely changed the way that I paint. I'll never go back to not using it. It is the Stay Wet palette. It works really good for acrylic paint because it keeps your paint wet for days. It comes with a lid that goes over the top, and it has just made the painting experience so much better. We have entered the month of September, and here's what they don't tell you about September. Let me preface this with how everyone wants to reset their life and start new goals in January, right? New Year's, that's when everything is a fresh start, everything gets reset. But I think it's much better to do that in September, because that is when everything kind of just, the plants and the trees die, they go into hibernation mode. I really feel like September is a much better time to like get into the mindset of setting goals and doing some self-reflection and deciding the next steps you want to take with your life. I just think September is a really good time for that. So I'm just so excited that we're finally here. Today is the first day where it's sunny outside, but it's cold enough for a jacket. I love wearing jackets and sweaters. I just love being cozy, drinking hot chocolate, making spooky art like this. So if you have some goals, why don't you share them so that we can get ideas from each other? I think my goals this year is I want to take my art more seriously and really work on my style a little bit, but also learn how to rest without feeling guilty, because there's so many days where we sit and feel like because we're not doing anything, we're failing at life, and that if we're taking time to rest, that we're being lazy. I totally get that. So yeah, I think my goal would to be rest without feeling guilty about it. It doesn't mean you're lazy. Recently, I've tried to be a little bit more expressive with my paintings because there's just something about letting the brushstrokes do what they want to do and letting the paint flow however it wants to flow, and be messy with it, be free with it. It's just so relaxing and expressive, and to just kind of give up control of the end product, the end result. I don't know how this is going to turn out, and there's just something so captivating about that because there's so many possibilities. If you're an artist and you make art, I really recommend and I challenge you to go a little bit more of an abstract route, because it'll kind of awaken your creativity in a way that you didn't know it could. I'm taking a little break right now just to get some sunshine and some fresh air. And these trees right above me are actually cherry blossom trees, and every spring they bloom into these big, puffy, pink, beautiful things, and it's just so pretty to see them every year. And the only thing is they don't last very long. As soon as the flowers come off, the wind blows them away or it rains. As soon as they come off, they're gone for a whole nother year. But then your driveway is covered in cherry blossoms and it's kind of like a pink wonderland. So I can't wait to see them again. Say hi. Boo-boo. Boo-boo. If you want to make more whimsy, fantasy type art, then here's some ideas that I really recommend, and it'll make your room or your creative space feel so magical. So obviously we can do pumpkins. Here's some pumpkins I did last year, and I just love that they have pink little cheeks. Another idea is you could just paint your favorite bug and just make it super colorful. So I love spiders, so I paint spiders all the time, and I love making them bright colors. And this really makes my room feel super magical and whimsy, and this one has glitter on it. You could also paint something as simple as an eye, but kind of give some fairy vibes to it or some witchy vibes, which is what I try to do with this one. It's a little bit dark, but it looks romantic and sweet and pretty, and I just love that it has a perfect balance of those two elements. You could also try painting a luscious pair of lips like this. I love painting lips. I feel like this adds such a feminine touch to my room. You could also add little drips and drops to kind of give it like a trippy, melty vibe. Here's another pair of luscious lips that I just finished, and I just love the tongue design. Like I knew that I wanted to make a tongue with like a swirly design on it. It is so fantasy and pretty. I'm probably gonna add glitter to this too. Or you could do something as simple as painting just like a random everyday object like this little ducky and make it whimsical. So I added like a little sleeping hat on him with like a little bonbon on the end, and then of course around the border I added some leaves because that just makes it feel so fantasy and whimsical. So just paint something random and make it whimsical with like the colors and the background. So here's a simple painting trick for if you want your paintings to look a little bit looser, a little bit more expressive. So most people, when they're painting, they hold the brush like this with their fingers really close to the bristles, and they get like really tight in there. But if you want it to be looser, then you hold the brush looser. So you hold the brush from the back and you kind of just dab around the painting. And instead of just like trying to decide the perfect placement for where the highlight should go, I really just like to be expressive with it and just dab around the painting and just go over like the general area of where the highlights go, and you could always make adjustments later. And this is how I keep the process feeling fun and I don't get bored, because it's just so expressive and you never know what's gonna happen. So here is how our painting is looking so far. It still looks super messy and it has a long way to go, but you're just gonna keep layering with colors and shapes until it starts to look more refined. I just want to take a second to appreciate how freaking cute my room is. Look at all my whimsical art in the background. Oh my god, you can make your room like this too. Just make whimsical art and put it everywhere. If you want more ideas for your own art and you want it to look more fantasy and whimsy, then check out my website at posseart.com. I think you'll find a lot of stuff on there that inspires you to decorate your own art studio or your own bedroom and make it super magical like this. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today and being cozy and spending the morning with me and just keeping me company. And I will see you in the next one.